All right, well, now the rush is on to reach a compromise on the stimulus bill between the Senate and the House and to get it to the president's desk before Monday. But that might be easier said than done. Already, Senator Arlen Specter has said he will only support the bill if it comes back, quote, virtually intact. That means the House would essentially have to accept the Senate bill as is, and that might not fly with a certain House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. Get ready for more porky projects to return, perhaps? To Minnesota Congresswoman Michele Bachmann. Michele, you got to forgive me, I'm a little bit taken aback because, you know, as a news anchor, I thought I covered the campaign fairly well. I must have missed the part about, hey, this is a vote for change and a $3 trillion deficit spending plan. Did I miss that, or was that just maybe I took 6 months off?
I think you and me and the American people agree on that one. Don't I remember something about Obama saying he was going to cut taxes on 95% of all Americans? Well, hold on to your wallet. The one thing we know with a $3 trillion spending binge given to you courtesy of the liberal Democrats that run this town now in Washington, D.C., the one thing that the American people can take to the bank is that they're going to pay for it in the terms of punishing high tax increases. Wall Street spoke today. They don't like what this liberal Democrat majority has served up to the American people.
But why can't we I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, Michele. I mean, we look at the situation, and it seems like we've swung so far from the right to so far from the left. America has traditionally been fairly a centrist nation. Can we get back to that? Why does it have to be all or nothing?
Well, we have to get back to it, and I don't think really we can say that we swung from the right, because contrary to your previous guest, President Bush was not drastically cutting taxes, and it wasn't the free market that got us into this. One thing that would get us out, there's a way to get out, and it's fairly simple. If we cut capital gains taxes down to zero for the next 3 years, make that permanent, cut corporate tax rates in this country down to 9%, make it permanent, make marginal tax cuts permanent, we're going to come out of this, and instead of $1 trillion in spending, or $3 trillion in spending, if we have $1 trillion in tax cuts, next year we won't be able to find enough people to fill the jobs that would be created. Let's try that, and I think we'll have a much happier outcome.
But then we would not get all these projects. I mean, we're approaching a percentage of debt to GDP and also government spending as a percentage of GDP to some of the European nations. I don't know if you saw the cover in Newsweek this week, the push towards socialism. I mean, how close are we?
Oh, well, unfortunately, President Obama is coming full force to socialism. Americans need to know, in this bill that was passed today in the Senate, it contains the grounding of socialized medicine. That's the government taking over 18% of the American economy, let alone all of this spending. America did not vote for this. I agree with you. I don't believe that America is far left. I think Americans understand that they have to earn their own way. Under this particular bill, we have morbid obesity levels of spending, and I can't look a 20 or 25-year-old in the eye and say in good conscience, this will be a good bill for you, because that 20 or 25-year-old will be paying for this in the form of punishing high taxes for the next 20 to 40 years. This is a gruesome reality that we're looking to in terms of punishing high tax increases.
But, Michele, you know as well as I do, it's just not fair that people who are successful pay more, shouldn't pay more in taxes, right? Isn't that what we hear now?
Well,
fair.
Well, right now we know that percent of all Americans, Brian, pay 60% of all taxes. 10% of all Americans pay 80% of all taxes. I think every American should have to pay something in taxes. But in this bill, President Obama takes the 40% of Americans that pay squat in federal taxes, and now he takes them off of even paying Social Security and Medicare taxes. 10% of Americans that pay negligible taxes won't pay any. So for the first time in our history, we'll have over 50% of the American people paying nothing.
Because if half the country is not paying anything in taxes, courtesy of one party, it's going to be real hard for that party to lose any elections. Michele Bachmann, Minnesota.
That's true.
Thank you very much.